when the right people come together at the right moment, when they care almost as much about winning as they do about each other, they can become the best of the best.
Welcome to the best soccer show, the best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. It's the best soccer show. Jason Davis, Jared Dubois. It is Thursday evening. It is 9 p.m. Eastern, which means we're doing this show. Could change in the near future what time the show happens. But for the moment, after some wires got crossed, your boys might not be the best communicators. Believe it or not. We might not be the best communicators sometimes. I thought that one thing was happening. Jared was like, what are you talking about? That's not what's happening. Oh, but we're here.
Yeah, unfortunately, with my kids' soccer schedule coming up, we may have to start thinking about doing Wednesday shows. I'm my kids soccer coach.
Be a soccer dad. That's cool.
You know what I did? To do Thursdays, and I'm assistant coach on that team. So
you know what I did today, and what the points I earned as a dad today. So I got the 4-year-old Tiago. Tiago is, I think I mentioned this already. He's starting T-ball very soon. Starting preschool very soon. Very excited for that. Came home a little sick from daycare today. So Mama was really on
going around, man. Even out here, it's happening a lot.
Yeah. So, but the other one, who is 17, he's looking at deadlines for when to apply for schools. Ooh. And what kind of what does he need a GPA need to be? What's that test score got to look like? What do I write for my essay, Pop? And I'm like, that's on you. And then we went driving. So it seems to me that this is the information I'm receiving, that many a kid in the same generation as my oldest, whose voice you hear at the top of every single episode of the Best Soccer Show, that is his voice when he was a very little kid. He's not a little
Hasn't
kid
changed.
Anymore. Yeah, he doesn't sound like that at all. Lots of kids in his age, they don't want to drive. They just don't want to. They're not bothred by it.
I'm not having that experience on this side of the coast, but I have heard that's definitely a thing. But yeah, out my land, my kid's anxious for it. He's got a girlfriend though, so that might be part of it.
I see. Yeah, got to be able to chauffeur your girl around. Got to be able to take her to the drive-in.
I don't know how it is in Virginia, but in California, you can't drive with another person under 18.
Yeah, that's the law now.
It happens or not.
That was not the law when I was in high school.
Oh no, that's how else were you going to hook up? Where were you going to?
Not only that, I mean, we were like. There were really some shady stuff happening, like cars full of kids, people in the trunk. We're driving 85 down roads we should not be doing that on. Anyway, he kind of has acknowledged that he's got to grow up. He's finally getting to a place of I have to grow up. Maybe driving would be helpful. So let's go out and drive. And it is a harrowing experience.
How much paranoia do you have?
Now, I am much calmer than I was in the beginning, but we are kind of coming back around to it. So I'm taking a very gotta be chill, Dad. Gotta be chill. I can't get too upset. Now I don't have a brake, right? I got one of those fancy driver's ed cars.
Who does?
So there might be a couple moments when it's oh, is he gonna hit the brake? Oh.
So in Virginia, a land of many trees, where do you take a kid to just practice driving?
Well, we drive around the neighborhood. Sorry for my camera. We drive around the neighborhood. It's 25.
Big parking lots you can take him to, where there's not much to hit.
There's a church, Catholic church nearby.
When I learned, my dad took me out to the dry lake beds of the desert out here, and we just learned out there. Just
the most California ass thing I've ever.
Well, we also had dirt bikes, so we would take dirt bikes, and then I would drive the.
We're just gonna check some California boxes. Dirt bikes. Were you in the movie?
Dirt bike California? I mean, so wait. I have to own. That's a bike. That's a BMX bike for the record.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the motocross movie? Was it called Motocross? Were you in the motocross movie?
Well, there was if you want a real answer, there's an old school one. There, go out if you ever want to see the first movie I ever saw Nicole Kidman in when she was 16.
Oh, yeah.
It's an Australian movie called BMX Bandits.
Oh, I think I've seen this movie.
It used to be on back in the 80s, dude. It is a rough one, but a very, very young Nicole Kidman.
I know we got soccer to get to, and I promise we will. And I see that we have a guest, a very famous guest, standing by, one of our regulars here on the Best Soccer Show that you'll be excited to hear from as we dive into some topics. But talking about the dad thing, talking about if we had more time, I think we would do more non-soccer stuff, you and me. At one point, we did have a in the interregnum between eras of the Best Soccer Show. We did a podcast called Slop Culture, which was basically just us talking about movies and TV and stuff.
Which we recently gave away.
Well, so that's the thing. I haven't talked about this. Somebody reached out to us and said, "Hey guys, my name is so and so, and I have a cousin, and we want to start a podcast, and we love movies, and we came up with this name, Slop Culture. We just think it's a great name for our podcast.
Seats taken.
You guys have that, we wanted to talk about it, and they actually offered to pay us.
Nah,
and I think I forwarded the email to you and then forgot to respond to the dude like months ago. So today I was like, go ahead, brother. Like you're good to go. I feel really bad.
So if it won't be your feed. If you had the back in the day, it'll be a different feed and everything like that. Nothing's going to come to your podcast.
He wants to get a hold of the SoundCloud, which apparently I still have the SoundCloud for Slop Culture. But anyway, I love that
thing.
show.
SoundCloud's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still out there. I think it still breaks rappers and stuff like that. I still think that's happening on SoundCloud.
Okay.
Anyway, if we had time and Slop Culture was a thing, I would make us go watch BMX Bandits and Rad and the motocross movie, whatever that was called. And what was the one what's this one?
I think I'm starting to like Cincinnati.
Oh,
Airborne
for rollerblades. If you want the skating version, you'd probably be Gleaming the Cube or Thrashing.
Oh man, yeah. All of those. We go back and watch all of those.
Josh Brolin before he was Josh Brolin. Is that right after Goonies? He did Thrashing, I think.
There was an era in the 80s, and I was a little too young, but of course I caught all these movies later on via HBO or whatever. There was an era in the 80s where every sport you could think of, there was some competition movie made about that sport. Like it was obviously BMX. There was skateboarding. Like one of the more famous ones is the bike racing movie that happens like no, like literal like
the Tour de France style one. It's,
like Bloomington, Indiana.
No, that's not it. Quicksilver's Kevin Bacon when he's delivering packages on a bike in San Francisco.
There's also the wrestling movie from the 80s with names I always forget.
If it was the 80s, like they're still doing there'd be a cornhole movie or something now.
Exactly.
There might be a disc golf movie. By the way, did I tell you my plans this weekend?
You're gonna play some disc golf?
I'm going to a disc golf tournament up in the mountains, baby. I'm gone for the weekend, boys trip.
All right, man. Have a blast. I hope you have a blast. I'm
going to be about 5,000 feet. I'm literally taking cans of air with me because like there's one part where you have to walk up it and it gets your boy's on the wrong side of 40. It gets winded sometimes up there on the mountain.
Yeah. So Nate's got me on this bike racing movie, which I think has, I want to say has a very young, oh my gosh,
Matthew Modine.
I want to say Dennis Quaid, but I might be wrong about that. But I think it's Bloomington.
Does he have one of the tight caps with a rounded like brim that flips up? Like that was the bicycle cap everyone wore.
Yeah, I don't remember that part of the movie. Anyway, okay, let's get into the soccer. So today is deadline day in MLS for the secondary transfer window. Obviously, some things are happening, and I'm keeping an eye on the wire. And there's a lot of moves. Tom Bogert's been a very busy boy today, breaking some transfer news. It's been it's not that you said this before we came on. It's not that there have been any big moves, except for one, which we'll get to. But there have been a lot of moves. I think it's interesting that a lot.
Here's the thing. I think I'm a little bit harsh on that because I mean. Son came to the league, Mueller came to the league, but it happened like weeks ago, so I'm already disassociating. Breaking Away, that's the name of the movie.
Yeah, that's the name of the movie. Shout out to Jason.
I'm already disassociating those with like this transfer window deadline kind of stuff that had happened weeks ago. So I guess it was a very big transfer window, but it just feels like the deadline's not bringing a lot of heat.
Okay. I mean, I think if your team is actually in contention for MLS Cup playoffs.
You're talking to the Leagues Cup semi-finalist over here. My team is literally about to win 2 of the last 3 trophies that were available.
You know what? You
think about that for a second. That's actually a true statement that the Galaxy are in contention for the second of the 3 trophies that have been available in the last calendar year.
No, that's fair. And look, that's not
the only
quite
thing I can say about them.
It's not quite the Columbus Crew in their run of finals, but I do think it'll say something. And look, we talked
about the backdoor way into that Champions League, baby.
You compare this, and that's a thing. Like we have to get over ourselves here. Now, I have issues with the League's Cup, but if it exists and it's an entry into the Champions League, it's as viable as anything. I mean, nobody's like, hey, Tottenham, You don't deserve to be in they had a terrible league season last year, but won a trophy, and that's all their fans care about. Now the new season beginning, and they have issues, and they lost out on Eze, and there's panic.
The
But they
guys
still
still
have
win
that
this
trophy.
and get the backdoor their way into the Champions League. It's karma for not getting the Club World Cup spot for being the league champions.
All right. If you want to claim that, you can claim that. That's fine with me. I mean, I do have issues. Again, I have issues with the League Cup.
I don't. Jason's cutting a little too close to home here. MLS Cup, Leagues Cup, wooden spoon. Take it easy, son.
When did DC United is having an epically bad season. They're on 20 points. You guys are 4 points back of them. So
yeah, the crazy thing is my team looks great in Leagues Cup though.
I
They
know.
really do look good.
If you give Marco Royce a trophy he can play for, apparently he becomes an incredible. I mean, he's been actually your best player, so that's unfair to Marco.
Yeah.
He's been your best player all year long, but you can hide your aging defenders and stuff in the Leagues Cup, I guess, against Mexican teams that don't care or something.
Do you want to do Leagues Cup here? Or do you want to do it a little bit later? Do you want to get deep into this?
Again, our guest is waiting. I've mentioned the MLS transfer window has closed or is closing today, and while Brenner to Cincinnati, which this gentleman told me in the chat, is he thinks that's a big move, and you did mention that before the show. Brenner going back to Cincinnati in this economy, like what's going on there? That's a thing. But this gentleman, who you will certainly know from his many appearances on this program, and let me play him in properly. Let me give him his proper.
Is that JTT?
OMFPG-13, it's JTT!
There he is, Jonathan Taylor Tanner.
Tell me he wrote everything that's in his lines right now. You didn't put any of that in?
Oh no,
I wrote it.
That is not
love when the memes come together.
That is me.
Because of the angle, I have to look at my camera on my computer. All I see is Jason's head shaking around like he's Fozzie Bear or something like that.
I also appreciate it. I think it's also very on brand for Jonathan Taylor Tannenwald to be wearing something French football right now. So that's nice. I like that.
The best looking stuff. I don't know what to
They
tell
have
you.
some pretty good stuff. They have some and they said pretty good food over there too. All right. So again, Brenner to Cincinnati, pretty big deal. Came out of the blue pretty late in the day. And if you guys thoughts on that, John, fine. But the one everybody's talking about, the one that's got everybody ablaze, whether you're a Colorado Rapids fan or just an MLS observer, or perhaps you're a super fan of the U.S. men's national team, and your greatest wish in life is to see the U.S. men win a World Cup one day.
See a C-level player come back to MLS.
Paxton Aaronson to the Colorado Rapids for $7 million plus add-ons.
Oh.
And you know this player, Jonathan, you know Paxton Aaronson. What do you make of this move? Because I think it did catch some people by surprise.
That's one way of putting it. And I will say, actually, having dug around a little bit, this is something that got lost in the shuffle yesterday. It's even more than $7 million. It's 7 million euros.
Oh, okay. I don't know where the exchange rate is right now, Jonathan.
It's up to $8 million at this point.
Okay. All right.
Which means they have just about spent the entire George Mihailovic check on Paxton Aaronson.
I believe that's
weird exchange, man. That's a weird. Colorado must have the world's biggest trampoline, just ready to catch any American ready to come back from Europe. You know,
and I will put it into the context of this first, because I was reading something that Paxton Aaronson said in his introduction this evening. The puzzlement from the media is fair, but nobody ever knows the full story. It wasn't easy for me to make a decision, but where was I going to be the happiest playing my soccer? It was a massive decision, and I was super happy. That's fine. I am saddened because I thought he would tough it out in Europe from previous conversations that I've had with him.
Okay, can I stop you there just for a second, John? Can I stop you there?
I have something to say about that too.
Because that indicates your particular perspective, which I think is one that's shared by a lot of people, right? You're saddened. You said that. You're saddened that he didn't tough it out.
I'm not storm the Capitol angry, to use a very specific turn of phrase as it relates to the social media.
Oh man. You said it, not me. I don't want to get us in trouble.
No one's inciting you yet. I get it. Okay.
I see.
But what's interesting about that though is the quote you just used, John, is that he's prioritizing happiness. And so without that, because I hadn't heard that quote until you just said it, my entire mindset was this is a move to get him the most playing time ahead of the World Cup and try to make a World Cup roster. And he's the first one of many more we'll see come winter window of American players making last-ditch efforts to make the World Cup.
The second
team.
one.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, to hear him say he's prioritizing happiness, do you think that's the truth? Or is this like
only one quote of, I'm sure, many that he gave? And I have talked to people who believe it is about the World Cup also. Eintracht Frankfurt's official statement said he wanted more playing time ahead of the World Cup, and this is how he thought he was going to get it. I am certain that's a factor. And if he plays well, Mauricio Pochettino has shown he is amply willing to call in guys from MLS. So we will see how that goes.
I think if not for Pochettino kind of sending out those signals that, hey, MLS is not a problem for me. It came up in an article I was reading today about the whole, Pulisic thing and all that, I think Henry Bushnell writing at The Athletic about the relationship and talking to previous coaches of the national team about how Pulisic is or not committed. And in that piece, Henry Bushnell has quotes from Pochettino, right? That the thing that Pochettino said is, I don't care what you did before, and I don't really care what you're doing at your club. I care what you do when you're here with me in the national team. And that would indicate that anybody, doesn't matter, MLS or otherwise, can play their way into a World Cup. Sure.
And I think what caught me off guard about this was Eintracht Frankfurt was in Philadelphia at the beginning of the month for an exhibition preseason friendly against the Union, and both the team and Paxten gave a lot of indications that he was going to stay there and be part of the rotation in a team that's going to be in the Champions League this season and needs a lot of bodies. And something happened in the 3 weeks or whatever it is since then that changed that. And there were offers I have heard from Southampton and Red Bull Salzburg. Again, I personally would have liked him to take either of those, but it is not my life. It is not my decision, which maybe separates me again from some of the other people who we've been talking about in the last couple of minutes who have other things to do with their lives.
Yeah, sure.
Or don't. But that's my in that sense. If I am the media, I'll take that he referenced. I'll take the blame. I'll take that. I don't mind taking it.
Let's dive in one thing here. 7 million euros. Anyone got a guess on what he went to Eintracht Frankfurt for? You probably know, John, because you covered.
Yes, I do know.
Okay, Jason, take a guess.
I believe it's 4 and possibly and a little bit more with add-ons, but I'm not sure he ever hit any of those.
4.7.
He did not hit a lot of the add-ons.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.5, 4.7, somewhere in there, right, John?
So it was $4 million up front, and incentives and other things that would have taken it into double digits if they'd all hit over time.
So is he 50% better? Is he 50% better than he was a couple of years ago? Like,
no,
it's a unrealistic number
than they would have wanted to otherwise because of how much money was on the
table. So okay, what's at play here? And again, from Paxton's side, I'm not sure, except for the quotes that JTT brought us. Well, what's at play here is that Colorado understands that they got to pay a premium to get a player like Paxton Aaronson to come back from Europe and play
Georgi
for them.
Mihalovic. I mean, unless Georgi Mihalovic is
Georgie didn't want to be there.
Georgie
didn't want to be there. Georgie was already done with Colorado. Now, that also could be a warning sign for Paxton down the road.
Yeah.
But what player doesn't like to be told, you're our guy. We want you. Yeah. You're going to be the center of everything. You know what they're doing, Jared? You know what they're doing? This is how much they're in on Paxton after the end of the Georgie era. You can jersey exchange your Georgi Mihalovic jersey for a Paxton Aaronson jersy as a Colorado Rapids fan. If you go to
he signed through 2030. He signed a 4.5-year deal.
Well, it makes sense because if you've sold back every letter on the back of Mihalovic, you can make your money back. That's a lot of letters.
They're making him the franchise player. So you again, there are certain groups of people who are going to be very upset because they think this is going to stall his progress when he could be a full national team player at some point. Although I think it's still jury out on whether he would ever reach that level. Certainly his brother kind of topped out, and now people aren't really like, oh, Brendan's got to be a starter, when at one point when he left MLS and went over to Europe, there was this thought that maybe he was going to level to that group. So who knows exactly that part? You can't predict the future. And if somebody comes to you and says, you're our guy, and we're going to spend $8 million to get you, and we're going to pay you as a DP, and you're only 21 years old, what are you going to say? Like, you don't know if you're going to break your leg tomorrow or tear your ACL. You don't know anything about your future.
So you
and
think,
they're going to give
Colorado is out there initiating this, not Aaronson's agent out like, hey, he's looking to come back.
Yeah, I think Colorado's initiating.
Yes.
I don't
100%.
I don't know that, but I would be listening to here's Padraig Smith. Is that I forget how his first name is pronounced.
Porig. You said Porig.
Porridge. We wanted to take a swing. We want to bring in top players. We love having this young American core, and we think we have a real chance to stay above the playoff line and challenge for trophies. And that's the part that I want to hit on.
Okay.
Because you cashed an $8 million check for Georgi Mihailovic, and as the 7th place team in the Western Conference, you threw it all at one player.
Yeah.
I would not have done that.
One player who has, I don't know, 130, 140 professional appearances to his resume, who had what, 6 goals in the Eredivisie last year, a decent year for not the top team. We're not talking about Eindhoven. We're not talking about Ajax, but still, like
he
that's the
can play.
thing. Like,
I don't dispute that he can play. I said going back to when he was at the Union, he doesn't quite have the same skill set as Brendan, and a lot of people thought that because he had a better shooter's instinct, he has a higher ceiling potentially than Brendan. That hasn't necessarily borne out because Brendan got to the Premier League. But
I just don't know.
I was surprised to see this happen now. And again, when I talk about they are 7th in the West right now, and they are 7th in terms of goals against. 41 goals given up so far this year, which is not ideal. Convinced me that throwing $8 million at one player with the Mihailovic cash is the right thing.
But that's the other side of this, right? And we don't want to spend the whole show talking to Paxton, so we're going to kind of close this up. But that's the other side of it for me. Like you have to take it from both angles. So if you say, Paxton, what do you do if any MLS team, much less one that, I mean, whatever, you can consider the individual teams and their ambition and their history and all that stuff. And Colorado's isn't great recently. Okay. Yeah. It is a beautiful place to live. My parents are from Colorado. I love Colorado as a place. Maybe that's a factor here, but if a team, doesn't matter who, comes to you and says, we're going to pay this for you, we're going to make you the center of our attack, you're going to be our guy, you're going to be a superstar for us, but that appeals to Paxton Aaronson's ego in a moment when maybe he feels frustrated about his potential playing time in Europe, because whether Eintracht makes him a rotation player, less playing time, or he goes on loan, not a completely secure situation, he's got the questions to answer about his situation there. From the Colorado perspective, and I've seen Nate and several other people say, this is a wild move. John, you're saying it. Like this is a risk for them, and spending that kind of money seems insane. So time will tell if they make the right choice. I think we can all criticize Colorado for this, but I don't blame Paxton at all.
No, I agree. But when I look at Georgi Mihailovic, 6 games this season, 9 goals, 8 assists. I don't think Paxton puts those numbers up. Especially the goals.
He can shoot. He can shoot, Jared.
I will say, okay, you might be right, but I'll say this: he's 5 years younger,
sure,
right? And if he does ball out, and there's
5 years
again,
hotter,
jury is still out as to what level he will reach. Will he be at 26? Will he be the same player Georgi Mihailovic is right now?
Like we don't know. Game. You're talking about trophies. You're talking about trophies now, though.
Sure, but don't, and I don't know if this is the calculation. I do think this is Colorado pushing all their chips in on young American player, get some heat, get some excitement going, whatever, for a product that hasn't been all that exciting, and they're fighting, an uphill battle where they play and in the market they're in. But there's nothing the number really makes this hard, but it's not impossible that Paxton Aaronson plays insane football for the next 2 or 3 years, and they go and somebody from Europe goes, we'll give you 8 for him. We'll take him. The
hard part for me with Colorado is like, I just don't see another midfielder that's at the level that's going to combine with him. Georgi Mihailovic, I think, is doing a lot of solo work in that midfield. Obviously, up front with Navarro, you've got a goal scorer, a guy that can put stuff away. But I just don't see who's he going to combine with? Cole Bassett? Is that the player? No. I don't see the other person. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on a young player to marshal this midfield unless they have a plan for increasing more depth in the winter transfer window. I see a guy that's set up for a lot of pressure and maybe a bit of failure. unless he's able to just rock out on his own.
He's in a position to do that in numerous ways, including some of the players around him.
He's going to get the ball.
Right. He's going to have the ball, and he's going to have a coach who has a lot of faith in him. I don't doubt any of that. But some people I have seen say, oh, look, Colorado has ambition because they're spending $8 million on a player. Nah, that's not enough for me.
Yeah, the weird thing is
United spent a lot of money on Christian Benteke, and I wouldn't say they have ambition.
That's fair. That's fair. I do think that, to me, it doesn't, like, ambition is almost, I don't even know if I can judge that. What I can say is I don't think they have much of a plan other than, take a flyer at a young American player that maybe gets them some attention because he's a young American player. And that's it.
Well, but we've seen this storyline, though. 2 years ago, Zach Steffen, Reggie Cannon, Georgi Mihailovic, they bring these guys back. It's like, oh, what's Colorado doing over here? That's pretty interesting. I'm going to watch this. Not much. Now you've already cycling out one of those players that got our attention in Georgi Mihailovic. And now we're okay. I don't know which version of you to believe in because, yeah, I think there is a bit of ambition based off of what we've seen them do the last 2 years. But as someone who's been a fan of the league since '96, Colorado and ambition don't go together in my head.
Right. No, but ambition without a plan is not good enough. That's not what you need to have a plan.
And ambition without a plan is not necessarily ambition.
It's ambitious without a plan is a recipe for disaster.
It's impulsive.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. And look, okay, here's the perfect example. And it's obviously a little bit different of a degree, but Toronto is a perfect example of ambition without a plan. Let's go sign Lorenzo Insigne. Oh, and Bernadeschi wants to come too. And look at how that all played out.
Yeah.
And now they're hitting the reset button and doing a bunch of quote unquote smart business.
Well, at least in Toronto, there's a track record of ambition for a long time. This plan messed up. Like, it didn't go well. But you have the Giovinco years. You have Michael Bradley coming back from Europe. Like, they've done some things and won some championships over the years that at least you can see that, okay, they're consistently ambitious. Colorado, I don't think you can say the same thing, which is why a lot of us was raising a flag a little bit. But at the same time, I think everyone wants to see Paxton Aaronson succeed. We want to see that happen.
Actually, I think there are people who would rather see him fail because then that would show, hey, you shouldn't come back from Europe at 21.
It's a catch-22. Even if he does succeed, those same people are going to be like, it's an MLS.
Probably. Yeah. No, and that is there is an unhinged element. And by the way, we won't spend some time on this. We don't need to. Jared doesn't really care, but I did write about it on my blog today a little bit.
I did not care about it because you wrote about it. That's a weird way of saying it.
No. What I'm saying is you're right that we shouldn't center any more of the conversation around the fringe elements of the U.S. men's national team fan base that had a
storming the Capitol over this.
They are
fringe elements, always storage capitals. So
the proverbial capitals. Yeah, Denver is the capital of Colorado, so there is that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before we let you go, John, and we do want to get to other topics. I know you had one other thing. I will tell you that. Full disclosure, Jared's not up to speed on this, which is
you brought me up to speed.
It's part of the thing that the NWSL is not always on everybody's radar. But the NWSL had this game this weekend in Kansas City. They got postponed for 3.5 hours. It's supposed to be a high-profile event. Kansas City Current versus Orlando. Orlando's about to break a record for transfer fee in women's soccer, so they're being ambitious. And the story out today at The Athletic is that Jessica Berman threatened the owners of the Kansas City Current with a fine if they continue to delay the start of that game because of the CBS television window. I don't know what I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what kind of pressure
it seems like applied. The executives everywhere think they have more power than they do to do things in other areas.
There have been other things that people would say Jessica Berman has done that demand her be removed or resign. I don't see how this one is anything but extra evidence that it's time for Jessica Berman to go, John.
I am by professional obligation not allowed to directly call for her head by the nature of my job. But it's a big strike, and it's a different kind of strike than ones in the past because she has offended owners of teams who are the people signing her paychecks. You can annoy the fans, you can annoy the players union, but if you're annoying owners, now you've got a problem that threatens your position.
Yes, right.
And I don't know the degree to which your position is actually under threat. I have not exactly made a ton of phone calls on the subject. But the line in the piece in The Athletic, and for people who don't know, was a heat matter. It was well into the 90s in Kansas City. It was too hot to play. Everybody agreed that it was too hot to play. The teams And the medical staffs, so on, said as much. And the commissioner said, no, we need to play because this game's on CBS. And the line in The Athletic was that Berman said, according to the sources, that missing the scheduled broadcast window would, Jason, as you said, cost the NWSL millions of dollars. That is a very big charge for the commissioner to level, and I'm not sure it's been proven.
Right.
And I'm not blaming the reporters here. I'm blaming the commissioner. And the reason why I'm blaming the commissioner is because there is not only one game a year on CBS.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of those things where it's very easy to throw that word out because the whole contract is worth millions to the NWSL. And then you, in order to apply further pressure, you hyperbolize, oh, this is going to cost us millions, as if the owners in Kansas City, who have proven to be, among sports club owners in America, probably more in touch with what's going on with their players and what's necessary to push the game forward from a, I don't know what the right word is here, John, but that's not an ownership group that's sort of known for being detached. They're ambitious, but they're ambitious in a direct and hands-on way that is about growing the game and obviously growing the women's game in particular. They're not going to be the kind that are going to be cowed by the idea of like, oh, millions of dollars. Well, let's throw our people out there and let them die in 95-degree weather.
I just can't believe that the league doesn't have something, or all leagues don't have something in writing that are the thresholds that must be reached before something like this is called. Because, for example, lightning strikes.
And they did.
They do, and they did.
What's the problem? I mean, then why is she even calling this thing? Because you can stand behind
the commissioner the commissioner does not want a game removed from network television.
No, what he's saying.
CBS knows this when they sign up as well, though. They know what.
John,
yes, they do. I agree with you on that.
Right. Well, I think what the point is, like, if there was a number, if there's a hard line, oh, it's 92.4 degrees and we don't play. Why is it not clearer who was in the right here in that moment when the butt bulb is on the field in Kansas City?
If lightning goes off, we wait 20 minutes. That's just the way it is. And the media understands as well. It doesn't mean they're happy about it. Broadcastings know that these things, when they sign up for it, you do football at Lambeau Field in the winter. Sometimes you may have to wait for a while they clear the lines. Granted, we're not the NFL. NWSL is not the NFL. People are still going to be waiting for that product potentially down the line. I don't know what was on the air after for CBS that they were potentially pushing if they waited
out for the day. It was a 4:00 Eastern kickoff. They were off to other things.
Yeah, it's true. It's definitely a something I don't think she can come back from.
It's one thing to sort of like, oh, my job is to be the ship captain on this commercial vessel that is the NWSL. But so much of the NWSL's recent history has been about the treatment of the players, the care of the players, doing right by the players. Obviously, the NWSL Players Union has taken great strides to make sure that the players are represented and they're fairly treated and the pay is getting, like, all those things. To not read the room on what the right thing is to do, take the lump. Right. This is the bigger picture, the longer term. Even if you want to be cold-hearted about it, John, her attitude should have been, it's better to move this game now and not put any players in jeopardy and have players passing out on the field on national television potentially and maybe deal with this later than to push it again. Like that risk reward thing, it feels very broken.
Yeah. And Jackie D in the comments notes the Savvy King controversy earlier this year.
Oh no, John's internet
That's not
dropped
very
out.
savvy of him.
John's internet is not very savvy.
Oh, there he is.
He caught back. You were off there for a second, John. And then
we didn't hear anything after Savvy King issue.
So yeah, tell us about Savvy King again. Oh, he may be frozen one more time, and then he's gone. All right, we'll look. We'll see if John's back. If he's not, that's okay. We have other topics to get to. That Philly internet is just not good. All right, he's here. All right, I don't see the video. I think we probably have audio. John, we got your audio? No, we don't. All right, well, I'm not going to keep doing that. So we're just going to have us here. We killed him. Oh my God. OMF PG-13. We killed JTT.
OMF rated R. We're killing him.
Okay. We did tease a little bit about the Leagues Cup, and I do want to get a new statement on the importance of the Leagues Cup from Jay Rodius. I mean, I think we did.
Oh,
touch on
obviously,
this
it's one of the
already.
most important competitions we play all year. I've been on the record saying that for quite some time.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
sure,
like it has a long story tradition of American and Mexican teams vying for attention in this heated North American environment. It's always worth stopping the season in the middle of it. And with the Champions League berth on the line, it's rightfully so. And it has nothing to do with the fact that the Galaxy are in the
Sure.
semifinals.
Okay, well, if you could just step back for a sec. I know you have previously maybe a different version of you, maybe on a different timeline, maybe the alternate universe situation.
Now that shit was AI.
Jared Dubois from Earth 2, maybe is what happened, or maybe it was AI. Has expressed some concerns with this and feels like it's dumb. Does that Jared Dubois have any feelings about the fact that it's 4 MLS teams in the semifinal? And
I think again, I do believe it's dumb for the most part. It's a dumb competition because where they put it in the season, I feel like it's forced. I think based off the results, I don't know that a lot of the Mexican teams took it as seriously as they should have. I think it's hard to even judge whether they're not taking it seriously because it's so lopsided in favor of the MLS teams playing all the games at home. I don't know. There's a lot of things with this. If you want us to treat this as a serious competition, you need to position it as a serious competition. And that means that Galaxy shouldn't be playing all 3 of their games so far. And now their 4th one at home. Every one of them so far at home.
It feels like this is one of those things again that sort of isn't for us. Like it's not for the established MLS fans, the ones who show up every week and support their teams. It's for people who aren't really quite on board yet. It's maybe for fans of Mexican football who live in the US who might be like, oh, okay, well, I'm paying attention to MLS now. Like it feels like this is like picking at the fringes of fan bases to try to collect more. And the choice to not play any games in Mexico undercuts it so much for the rest of us who care about it as a legitimate competition. That's like,
no, you're wrong. There's no evidence saying that MLS teams don't perform well in Mexico. I'm sure they would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, but it's because it's difficult to squeeze it into the calendar, regardless of how you do it. It's just always going to be uncomfortable, no matter what the format is.
Yeah, like you said, it's a weird thing. It's hard not to feel like it's a money grab. Granted, my team, who is basically out of the MLS season, it's a chance for them to take something serious and restart and somehow have the same amount of wins in Leagues Cup as they have an entire 20-some games of the season so far in MLS.
You guys are champions of Mexico, I think I heard. You guys are making.
It seems that way. I mean, I think we have the key to the country.
The last thing on this, before we move on to a very best soccer show style topic, is if you win it, and then you're in the semifinal at home against the Sounders, if you win it, you know, it again, I mentioned Tottenham. Like, it feels like that kind of thing. And we don't have that generally in American soccer. Like, I remember when DC United finished last in MLS. Of course, there's no relegation, so they weren't relegated, but they won the Open Cup.
Yeah.
I think Ben Olsen was the coach of the team that year. Like, it was one of those historically bad MLS seasons, and yet they won an Open Cup. And I don't know if United fans, who obviously have a history of championships behind them, right? Unlike Tottenham, who doesn't have a ton of trophies. I don't know if they're like, yeah, that's a great season because we won a trophy. But the rest of the world, much of the world goes, I don't care what trophy we win.
You think Crystal Palace fans are mad?
They do not care at all where they finished in the league because they won the FA Cup. So that's
now they didn't win the Premier League the year before. That's a little bit different. Where the Galaxy just
you're saying the come down was real hard. You guys were detoxing from being the best in the league, and this is like the cold comfort. Like, this is not quite the same.
Listen, I won't keep making excuses about the season Galaxy had. Some things at the beginning were rough, but they should have been able to navigate them. They should have been able to do something different. But that being said, I think we have the easier road to the finals against Seattle without Musovski. I think that's a big loss for them not having him in the next match. And I think Seattle is going to do what they do best and play a lot of defense. And Galaxy is going to try to do what they do best, and that's try to transition and score goals. And we'll have to see how that works out. I think Miami against Nashville is a much tougher matchup there. And well, it'll depend on, does Messi play? Is he going to prioritize this? You know, they are in competition for playoffs, MLS Cup, that kind of thing. So we'll have to see. But for me, I think that matchup is probably a little bit more entertaining. But LA and Seattle always play well against each other. It's pretty consistent. But it is weird that there's no Mexican teams. It makes it feel like an asterisk kind of tournament when that happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. All right.
I don't know.
So that being said, Leagues Cup not in the books, but we're moving into the semifinal round, and it's a thing. There are other U.S. men's national team related things that I suppose we could talk about, but it's the Italian season hasn't started. The Bundesliga season starts this weekend. We've got a game in England. We've got a game in France. Other leagues around Europe. We can talk about America.
Tyler Adams had a rough one. His first game at Bournemouth.
You thought that was rough for him or for the team?
For him, did you watch the goals that were scored against him?
I mean,
like
I saw
goals literally stopped running on 2 of them. Now, granted, I think he thought the help was coming, but I mean, the hard part is when you're the guy that stops running, it looks bad on TV. Yeah, I think a defender should have been there and backed him up. The back line should have been there, but it's rough. He did put a good assist in there to kind of make up for it a bit, but definitely a tough start. And Bournemouth in this situation where with all the moving pieces, all the pieces that have left, and Tyler still being there, hopefully it's not a sign of what's to come for him this season.
Yeah. So Tyler, yeah, well, I mean, look, you're playing the defending champions and the odds-on favorite to do it again and all those things, and they spent £300 million or whatever it was in the transfer window. Chris Richards did okay, pretty good day for Crystal Palace as they get a point against Chelsea. We know that there's Josh Sargent scoring goals. What does that mean? Until
Johnny's starting for Atletico, I believe he started for Atletico.
He did. I watched that game. It was extremely frustrating.
I did not see it. So how did he perform?
He played one half. He picked up a yellow late in the half. And then Diego Simeone decided to pull him and Conor Gallagher off, both his holding midfielders off, and they subsequently lost the game. Did Atleti. Incredible free kick from Julian Alvarez, but the rest of that game was kind of trash. And he made too many substitutions. He made too many changes in that second half. I think Johnny's going to ultimately be okay. And I think it was more about Simeone in that game than it was about Johnny, but it wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah, I think Serginho Dest with an assist or 2 assists. What was this? 1 assist in the goal in the
back to being saucy. Back to being saucy. That Serginho Dest. I think that's exciting. Whatever it means for this.
I mean, I put him pretty low on my blind rankings. But part of that was forced. A bit, but. Yeah, we'll see what Serginho Dest can do. I'm really happy to watch those games, see some of the highlights, see how he's doing. Christian Pulisic at the Coppa Italia down in Italy scores, and AC Milan moves on past Barry. Leao leaves early with an injury. Hopefully nothing serious there. They did just sign. Man, they signed
Noah Okafor.
What's that?
Noah Okafor is who they signed.
No, they already had Okafor. They got.
Sorry, Okafor's on his way out. That's my mistake. Okafor's on his way out. I got my transfer.
Starts with a B, and I can't remember his name. I want to say Barone or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, they just signed a striker, which is going to be interesting because Allegri has been playing Pulisic and Leao.
You're talking about Victor Boniface from Leverkusen.
Boniface, yeah. So they early on, Allegri's been playing Leao and Christian Pulisic as dual strikers, which is very interesting. No true 9.
That won't happen.
So the question is, who's the odd man out? It's going to be interesting. Like, how do you make a formational change? Because he's playing a 3-5-2 right now.
Well, as long as Leao's not available, it kind of fixes itself. But when he's back, you're right. And I talked to Matt Santangelo on the. Do you know I do the radio show? Do you know I'm on the radio?
WNBC.
Do you know I do radio?
Like UHF?
No, it's I talk into a walkie-talkie, and apparently people hear it. I don't actually know how it
like
works.
ham.
Yeah, I'm like, let's talk about AC Milan with Matt Santangelo, and then that was bad. Anyway, talked to Matt Santangelo, and he kind of pointed that out. Like, Christian Pulisic is not really a second striker. Like, he could play there, but it's not his best place, and yet this kind of lines up where Allegri might want him to do that. So, yeah, let's see how this unfolds. I do think that if we're talking Italy for a second, I'm a little worried. I mean, we're always worried about Weston McKennie, and then he proves us wrong. He proves managers wrong, but he got the number 22. 22. That's not good.
Didn't feature on the weekend in their last friendly. It just there's nothing. Death, taxes, and Weston McKennie having to prove himself in the fall. Like, so consistent.
There is a contract issue right now, I think, for Weston. I know that Jeff Carlisle wrote up a piece on him at ESPN as we get ready for the World Cup. So
it's just not what you want in a World Cup year, man. You want him hitting the ground running. You want it. I mean, granted, it's where he finishes, and he tends to finish in good position when part-time captain of this team. But it is weird to go from armband to not on the field. You know, like that's a tough switch for Weston. He looks good though. Have you seen him? Dude shred some weight. Like,
I mean,
he's looking tight.
Even when he's looking fit, he still has issues at Juve. It's so wild. He's eating pizza with ranch on it, and they're like, "Oh, you're too chubby."
Oh, I think Nate's gone insane. Gio will take Weston's spot at the World Cup. Woo!
Well, that is insane. So, okay, let's again before we get to a very best soccer show kind of thing, let's talk about Gio. I don't like talking about Gio.
What's there to talk about?
Well, okay, the latest is that the Parma deal is on hold or falling through, and now it's
wants too much money.
That wants to grab Gio Reyna for
I wonder how that's happening. Who else is at Mönchengladbach?
I mean, Joe Scalli's over there, sure. I mean,
best friend.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something as that, but do you spend, and it's not a lot of money, to be honest with you. This is the thing, like, you're buying Gio now, you're buying at the bottom end. You're buying at the bottom end of the...
Dortmund's not letting them buy at the bar. You mean price-wise or like just career-wise?
Well, okay, whatever it takes, even if it's $5 million.
Parma's making it sound like the starting offer's too high.
Okay, Parma, first of all, Parma doesn't have cash. They've been hemorrhaging cash.
They just bought a player. What do you mean? They just bought, I can't remember, or I can't remember who they bought.
Did they buy a player who has a little bit better track record recently than Giovanni Reyna? So there you go. That, you know, again, like, do you justify spending a little bit more to match what Dortmund wants when you don't know if he's going to come good? You're betting on potential, not necessarily. And this is actually very interesting. Jackie's pointing this out. Gio's going to go less than Paxton Aaronson, because Paxton Aaronson
now he goes to MLS. Right now, MLS teams are playing premiums for Americans coming back. What do you think Gio would get? What would, let's say, for example,
that's the thing though. Gio would not. I mean, we heard something about LAFC, but I think that was always going to be a loan if it was a thing, which I don't think it actually was a thing. Gio is the guy who would dig his heels in and say, "I ain't leaving Europe. I'm not leaving Europe unless I absolutely have nothing left on the table." So, you know, and I don't know, maybe this is a tug of war with Dortmund. I don't know. But do you think Gladbach would be a better place than Parma?
Yes.
I think so too, because he knows the lay of the land.
Yeah.
It's a team that probably needs him more than
speaks
Parma.
The language.
Parma needs a player like Gio, perhaps. You could argue that. But the way they're going to have to play to stay up and be anywhere competitive against Serie A teams means Gio's going to see very little of the ball. And he's going to be asked to defend a lot more than he would at a better team. And Gladbach was a 10th place team, and there's no, I think, 10th place.
Parma sold Giovanni Leone to Liverpool for $31 million. So they had money. Now, they did buy, was it Mattia Frigen from, I can't remember, is that Verona maybe? No, Westerlo, excuse me, for $9 million. They spent some of it, but they did spend money. They had money. They did get money coming in. They had money.
Okay, but again, I'm not saying that they don't have something in their transfer kitty to spend, but I have actually read, because Parma is owned, Jared, you're going to love this. Parma is owned by an American.
Every team that gets Americans is owned by Americans.
He is the scion of a business family, business giants out of Des Moines, Iowa. His family are the founders of Come and Go. You aware of?
Sounds like my college years.
I'm just saying that's it could be the documentary of Jared Dubois' time at San Diego State University, San Diego University.
Correct. That's correct. They still talk about it down there.
Do they? You and
what
Eric
does Come and Go do?
It's a convenience store, gas station.
Sounds convenient.
I think that's what the deal is. Anyway,
you get your Jimmy hats.
I've read that this guy has lost a lot of money since he bought that club. So, and yes, also owns the Des Moines Menace and also owns the rights to a USL team, which Nicholas Murray is very keenly aware of, in Iowa, which has not gotten off the ground yet. So who knows? All right, Jared, we got 10 or so minutes left, 12 or so minutes left.
You know, it's funny. The topic I wanted to discuss, the gentleman's in the chat. Nate's in the chat. He put in there in the Slack today. And Jason, just for the record, if someone wants to get in the Slack, how can they do that?
Patreon.com/thebestsoccer show. Get access to the Bestie Slack, which is an incredible community of American soccer fans and just like cool people, just regularly cool people.
I mean, how were they?
You also get occasional bonus content when we're able to put that together, and the Daily Davis, which is not always daily, but is always very candid and potentially painfully so sometimes. Like if you want you want to watch me be awkward a little bit, that's where you go. The Daily
Davis diary.
It's a little bit of a diary sometimes, yeah. Because I know I'm talking to my besties, right? It's like when I talk to you, Jared. Like we have some conversations. Like there's some stuff that
talk about your erectile dysfunction. We do a lot of stuff.
It's actually I got the opposite problem.
You don't have the come and go.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
For a little more come and go in your life. Okay. But Nate in the chat was I'm going to slightly twist his topic. His topic was like, what era of U.S. men's national team would have the best UFC fighters? And I want to take that a little bit differently and spin that into, if you had to pick 2 players from any era to make a WWE tag team wrestling combo,
okay,
who would you put together?
Okay. So
because here's the thing, when it comes to UFC, I want to real quick. The UFC, I know that the players these days may not be as our brains go to certain players in the past, big physical players. But if we left at UFC, specifically the Octagon, it's a lot more likely that guys these days have done some jujitsu and stuff like that. It's a very prevalent thing. These guys may have some jujitsu skills. So that's why I would go WWE, where it's more entertainment based.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it's a little bit more about the persona than it is about whether you can actually fight. Like your athletic ability matters, but it's less about that. It's more about like how you project on the field. So I tell you where I go immediately.
Okay.
Now you said like you want to do this in eras, or you just want me like you have to match. I can't be putting players from the 90s.
2 players have to be from the same. Let's define eras. 94 to 2002.
Well, they just have to cross over, right? The players just have to have overlap.
Oh, okay, I guess that's fair. Yeah, they have to have like played together. That's an era. Yeah. Okay.
See, I'm thinking about my wrestling eras. I know we have some wrestling fans. That's one of the Slack channels in the Bestie Slack is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
My eras for wrestling were the 80s into the early 90s a little bit when I was young. It was like All American Wrestling and the cartoon
Warriors
show.
Where I stopped. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, when Hulk Hogan was cool and good before, and
when he was telling kids to eat their vegetables.
Yeah. When we were doing Randy Macho Savage and the Junkyard Dog and Coco Beware, these were my people back then. And
Jimmy Superfly Snuka,
$1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and all that stuff. And then I kind of had a little bit of a moment around the late 90s, early 2000s. So the Attitude Era, a little bit. Okay. Had some friends that were into it and was like, oh, I want to be cool like them. That's pretty much it for me. Like I'm pretty much out after that. But I will say that, and so you have some styles, right, Jared? Like you have 2 really big guys or 2 guys connected by a common trait. They could be Russians. They could be 2 Russians together as a tag team, right?
Yeah.
Or they could be 2 guys dressed like bikers or whatever it was, like Demolition or Road Warriors or whatever, right? You could have 2 athletic guys like Rock and Roll Express or whatever that one that Shawn Michaels was in with the other guy for a while. I can't remember that. Yeah.
The Hart Brothers.
But I think I like the idea of a big guy and a not quite as big guy.
So like a technical guy and a big guy?
Yeah, something like that. More like a high flyer athletic type and then like a bigger guy. Now, obviously, all these soccer players, all these former professional soccer players or current, if we're talking about this current team, are incredible athletes. None of them are like the Big Show where it's just they're huge, right? It's not, none of them are Andre the Giant. Like they're moving. But I'm thinking I might like a Gucci Onyewu, who I think is going to be on pretty high on most people's lists, right? A Gucci Onyewu with Clint Dempsey. What do you think about that combination?
I think Clint Dempsey would have the best post match, like in the middle of the ring wrestling. Like he had the best walkout music because it'd be his own.
I'm helping you here. He'd cut the best promos, Jared, is what he would do.
Yes, that's very, very true.
He would cut the best promos.
Yeah, I think when he's in the ring, I'm not sure that he puts up the same stats as Gooch. I think he's a great of the WWE. Dempsey brings the E. I don't know if he brings the W. But that's
Right,
what Gooch is for. I don't know. But when you're tagging him in, I'd be getting nervous.
You get nervous about Deuce, or is
Yeah,
that what
when
you
he
said?
comes into the ring. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, okay. I mean, I suppose.
I mean, you know, he's probably the flyer though. He's the guy on the top rope.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him to be the more the athletic of the pair, whereas
Now-
Gooch is going to be the more the bruiser, more the like the muscle. You know, just the guy who's going to make you nervous in there.
Can I go to a different era?
Okay, sure. You can
I'm
definitely.
gonna
go
throw
to
some names out there that some of the kids out here may not know. Hold on, can I present a picture if I want to? Let me see how I do.
Yes,
it.
you can. If
On
you
the
load
flyer
it in,
here.
you can absolutely.
I have to load it in.
Yeah, you just have to do present and then
okay.
then upload it. Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna find it right now. I'm gonna give you a picture of a dude.
Oh, okay. Visual aids here. A picture from. Oh, okay. I know who this is. All right.
All right. This right here. This
right,
is Mr.
right.
Clay Koyman. Literally grew
Yes.
up 2 blocks from where I'm at right now. Inland
Okay.
Empire through and through.
Uh-huh.
I would take Clay Koyman and that curly ass Jerry curl mullet he got it going on. And
Okay.
I would put him with another. I'm going full mullet. Okay. I just want to let you know right now. There's an era that I'm trying to. The other person I'm putting with him is probably
Okay.
Jeff Agus.
Really? All right.
I just think they look like a group, like 2 guys that would be together
I
in
see
a
what you're
wrestling
saying.
combo.
I
I don't
see
think
what you're
Jeff Agus is the guy that's got the talent. I think it's Clay.
right.
But
Okay.
here's the downside: the era of the mullet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hair to grab. You
That's
know,
true.
like you
Yeah,
look.
but
You look these
wrestlers
days.
love
All the
long hair.
guys are all shaved head and stuff like that. They don't.
We there are lots of shaved head wrestlers, but wrestlers love long hair because long hair is dramatic. You can flip your hair up. It's like you do lots of things with it with your hair if it's long. So I could see
If
that.
I had my
can
choice,
see
and I don't think you're at a national team cap. I would probably have put him with Troy Dyack. Remember Troy Dyack?
No, only
this-
you remember Troy. No, I do remember Troy Dyack, but that's a long time ago. You're reaching
Yeah.
way.
Well, I
back.
am. Listen, I'm going to era, right? But I'll
Uh-huh.
go Clay Koyman, Jeff Agus. Jeff Agus is a winner, baby. No one's got more rings than him.
I got
Actually,
one
yeah,
for you.
Mullen has more
I
rings
got
than
one
him.
for you, and I'm mostly throwing this one out
Okay.
because I'm wondering if maybe this one would work better as a tag team than it did
Okay.
actually on the field.
Okay.
But what if we and you have sometimes you have a strong quiet type, right? One who you got to have a talker, and then maybe you have so that's the
Think of Nacho Libre, right? You got Nacho, then you got Steven Escaloto. I can't remember his name. The little flaco guy, little skinny guy.
Okay,
Like sometimes you need that.
I'm just talking about like so the one who talks a lot and the one who doesn't. What about Michael Bradley and Jermaine Jones as a tag team, just for that whole Michael doesn't talk a lot, but he's gonna get in there. He's gonna get physical with you. You don't, but Jermaine Jones.
The name of their combo is the Bucket Heads because they always played an empty bucket.
Well, I mean, or they're like the pendulum. They're called the pendulum because they're supposed to be doing this, but they're not really doing that.
Yeah, listen, I get it. There's one that like Michael Bradley's thinking about like all the moves, or Jermaine Jones is just a unleashed animal going after him, like pure rage.
See, it's again not body type, not actual wrestlers, but Michael Bradley's the one I could see doing the Undertaker move. Like you think you got him down, he's on the ground, he's on his back, and he just sits up. Like, no, I'm here. I'm undead. You cannot kill me.
I don't know. Michael Bradley in wrestling, I don't put them together, man. If I was going to go somewhere with Jermaine Jones from that era, man, you know what? I could see, man.
I mean, you want to go? You want to go hair? You want to with a thing? I mean, Kyle Beckerman's got a look at his midfield again. I mean, I'm just trying to. It doesn't have to be like that. I do like this though. Frankie Hayduk for the ultimate high flying wrestler.
Yeah, high flying.
In addition, doing the big dives off the turnbuckles and
Frankie's
stuff.
super high snooker.
Yeah, there you go.
So who do you pair with Frankie? If you're going to like stoner, like who's the other guy?
Yeah, but if it's a tag team, if it's a theme,
the tag team is called Smoke Show.
It might be Kyle Beckerman, to be honest with you. It might
Beckerman
be.
and
or it could be
called
could be Pablo Mastroeni too.
Yeah, you just call it, the name of it was like Ultimate Dread.
Yeah, like the Dread Brothers or something like that. It could be like that.
I can see that. Yeah, man, I'm trying to think. Okay, modern era though, because here's the thing. You notice it speaks volumes that we haven't said a single current national team player
Yeah.
When you
yeah.
think about WWE grit and you're going to put someone on their back.
Yeah.
What's that
I mean,
say?
if you tried to pair guys who have something in common, there's a couple. So there are a bunch of guys who were born in New York. The only guys I really think kind of like embody New York are Tyler and maybe Tim Weah. So you could maybe put them together.
Yeah, my money's on whoever the other person is. My money's
Yeah, I
on
mean-
whoever the other team is. The only
Uh.
person I see when I look down the roster, and I'm not even sure they're in the pool anymore, Kamikaavika.
Cameron
That dude's built-
Cotton.
He built like a wrestler.
He's got some body size to him, and it
Yeah.
maybe the
Oh,
accent.
what if we
What?
went DK and Vika?
DK and who?
Cameron Carter Vickers.
Oh, Cameron Carter Vickers. Okay, I can see that. I can see that working. Sure.
DK and
I guess so.
CCV. Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right. We could maybe wait that
There's
way.
just not much bite, man. There's no bite in the team, man. I don't know.
There's
Diego Luna's made for WWE.
if he was 5 inches, 6 inches, 7
Nah,
inches
dude.
tall.
Short guys do it sometimes. Short guys do it.
All right. I see. You could maybe make that work.
You'd have to team him with a bigger dude, though. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's just nothing in this modern.
See, I don't even know
Oh,
if these
man.
guys overlapped at any point. I mean, era wise, I guess they kind of did. CCV
Were they
and
both at
Miazga?
Chelsea at the same time?
Well, that might be true. I guess that's true. I'm just
I don't
thinking
either, for the record, neither were playing for Chelsea, but were they both on the books at Chelsea?
Right,
At the same
right,
Or
right,
CCV
right,
was Tottenham, huh?
No, he was Tottenham. Yeah, he was never
was
Chelsea.
Tottenham.
I'm
So they were in
sorry. He was
London.
a different
Sorry.
London team that never played him, that sent him on loan a billion times and finally sold
I
him.
just feel that there's a lot more hockey mullets and brute dudes in the earlier eras, man. I don't know. These are all jiu-jitsu fighters these days, man. None of them are going to put you in
And we don't even have I mean, it's not current, but we don't even have an Arturo Vidal or somebody like that. You know, we don't even have a
Yeah.
guy who's I'm just gonna rock the mullet,
Dark
or
arts.
the mohawk because I'm badass like that. You know,
like Clip Mathis.
yeah. I do see this a little bit. Diego Luna as Rey Mysterio Jr.
Mm.
Who was always wore the luchador mask and was that guy.
Yeah, who's the most likely to wear a mask? Well, it's like saying who's ugly. Jeez, my bad.
Well, there is the luchador tradition, right? So you know, if you got some Mexican heritage, it might
Pepe
be
could be a
more-
wrestler. Betsy got big size. Pepe got big size.
I actually could see Pepe doing
El
that.
Train is a kind of a
El
wrestler
Train.
name.
That's actually really good.
That would be his move too, or what would be his move? Be the caboose scoot?
we
I don't know.
could pair him up with Diego Luna, and they could do
Yeah.
a Mexican American style thing. They could do that. That could
Pepe
be a-
Luna.
Pepe Luna. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
El Train. And what's
El
Luna's
Train.
nickname?
Well, he's
How do you
Luna.
say How do you say skunk in Spanish?
I actually don't know that one. You know what raccoon is? Mapache. He could be Mapache.
Yeah, that's good. He's got that flavor, man.
Yeah.
Did we get all the eras? We got all the eras, right? Did we miss anyone?
I
I just think,
mean-
but when you look at that 94 team, man, 98 team, there's just like tons of dudes that could.
Wild that at no point has a certain other center back with a hair choice come up. Not yet.
Balboa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm clearly talking about Marcelo Balboa. I'm not talking about anybody else. No, nobody else. Just Marcelo Balboa. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a few guys, man, back in those days. They could just.
So here's the
probably do-
thing: Diego Luna from El Paso, right?
Oh.
And sorry, Ricardo Pepi from El Paso. Diego Luna played in El Paso, not from El Paso, but played in El
Look
Paso.
at Murray, always looking for the second division like the hits, man. My man's always looking for the marketing angle. Always
got
got the marketing angle.
Got
But I
it.
like it though.
If you ever want to know if a player played in the USL, Nicholas Murray's your guy. He knows.
Hey,
He
my
knows
man.
everybody.
Hey, I like
All
that
right.
though.
I think we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Thank you to JTT for stepping in. Clay Koyman also appearing on the show tonight. Very good stuff as well. Again, patreon.com/the best soccer show.
You okay?
My voice doesn't want to help. Patreon.com/the best soccer show if you want to join in and be part of the besties community. Yeah, I don't know. What else are we telling
If
people
you,
about?
if you have a suggestion that we missed, put it in the comments or hit us up on the Slack. If you're happy to keep the conversation going there. I'm sure I missed a mullet or two. Casey Keller back in the day. There's some other mullet. Oh, dude, if you just did a goalkeepers,
You can do
Marcus
that.
Hanneman and
You
Keller.
can do like a Twin Towers kind of vibe with a couple
Marcus
of big
Hanneman,
bald
he's
guys.
built. Marcus Hanneman was
Yeah.
made for WWE.
Tim Howard and any other Marcus
think
Hanneman and
Zahn-
any other bald
Zahn got
goalkeeper.
WWE's kind of.
Yeah, we call them the Chrome Domes, and they're out there
Mm.
just wrecking people. Just
the Iron
absolutely.
Domes.
mauling people as it feels kind of cheating though to go goalkeeper though, just because of the size difference, you know.
Yeah, but Marcus Hahnemann would pound a Red Bull before the game, pound a Red Bull at halftime, literally behind his goal.
Who would you pair Tony Mueller with if Tony was a professional wrestler? This one might get back to him because I might tell Tony that we talked about this.
Man, I kind of okay. Do you want to lean into like kind of like he's Italian, right?
Yes, he's very Italian.
You want to go to like an Italian vibe? Like
do
who
that.
else?
Could do that.
We got
Well,
Rossi.
look, you've got the guys from Carney. So you got Tony from Carney, you got Tab from Carney, and you've got Claudio from Carney. And John Harkes, sorry. Not Claudio, John Harkes. Claudio's from Jersey, but Johnny Harkes.
None of those are speaking to me. I mean, the Jersey boys, I get it. The Jersey boys, you know, but I almost want to go more like Kansas City. Like, is it Jimmy Conrad?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like, who else was there at Kansas City back in the day?
In that era?
Preki.
It could be. Oh, yeah. We could
dark arts. Preki got the dark arts. I'm telling you right now.
Tony and Preki, and come up with something for that. We need a name for that duo, though. If we're going to team them up, we need a name for that. Precola.
It sounds like a cheese.
Howard and Hanneman, managed by Triple H. There you go. All right, we can do this all night. We're going to wrap it up. Again, check us out on the Patreon. Check me out on Blue Sky. Check Jared out coaching soccer in Southern California somewhere. And, we're going to work out the schedule. So stay tuned to whatever we post. Social media, on my feeds. We'll put it up on the Patreon, on the YouTube channel.
Likely Wednesday next week, guys. Likely Wednesday.
Likely Wednesday night. So with all of that being said, thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Michael freaking Orozco Fiscal.
Oh, it's incredible!
Can I get a manager? Can I please get a manager?
Who asked those questions?
You feel respect for the Gegner. You feel respect for the Gegner.
Danger zone!
What are we doing?
It was there. Oh, here we go. Saucing them up. Hit him. What?
Damn, dog, that's in a box.
Go to DEFCON 2.
Get to the chopper! Oh, baby! WNBC. WNBC.
Jay Rodius.